The race for U.S. Senate will be the marquee race on next year's ballot in Texas, and incumbent Senator John Cornyn faces a tough battle just to get through the primary. Last week, we told you about a new challenger who joined the Republican race, Congressman Wesley Hunt. Our Adam Schwager spoke one-on-one with Hunt to dig deeper into his decision to run and his message for Texas voters.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today, Representative Hunt. I guess just to start off, talk to me a little bit about why you decided to get into this race.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for having me on. And I decided to get in this race because over the last few months, I've been monitoring this race very, very closely. And what I've realized is that the state of Texas cannot be about a blood feud between Ken Paxton and John Cornyn at the end of the day. This has to be about the issues that are most important to my fellow Texans. Let's talk about the border. Let's talk about the oil and gas industry. Let's talk about safety. And nobody is talking about those things because they're at each other's throat fighting this blood feud. And so what I've realized is that it's time for the next generation of leadership to step into the fray to lead us moving forward. And one thing I always say, and that is the United States Senate is not a retirement community. It is time for people that are in their 30s and 40s and 50s to step into the fray because we have skin in the game. I have a 6, I have a 4, and I have a 2-year-old at my house. Every decision I make is hinges on their future. And I got to make sure that I'm doing the right thing because I'm going to be around to see those decisions that I make now come to fruition. And that's why I got in this race.
So talk to me a little bit about what are some of the big issues that you would like to see tackled at the Senate level that you can't do from the House of Representatives side?
Well, my first order of business when I'm a United States Senator is going to be to overturn the gun control legislation that John Cornyn co-authored with Colin Allred and was praised for it by Joe Biden in the Rose Garden. That is not Texas. As a military guy, as somebody that is a hunter, as a West Point graduate, as somebody that flew Apaches for 8 years in the United States military, I am somebody that understands the importance of our Second Amendment, and that right shall not be infringed. And that is probably the biggest reason why I'm in this position is because John Cornyn simply lost touch with the base. You cannot author gun control legislation in Texas. Also, I was the first person in the country to endorse President Trump. I campaigned with him. I helped him get elected. I was one of President Trump's top surrogates. And John Cornyn did not endorse President Trump until after he was shot. John Cornyn also said that it's, quote, time to move on from President Trump. Texas then goes on to turn in President Trump's direction to the tune of 15+%. So guess what? He was wrong about that too, and I was right all along.
I've heard you praise Attorney General Paxton before. Was a part of your decision to get in this race kind of a deal where you aren't sure that he's the right candidate to beat John Cornyn?
I'm speaking more to what the appetite is of the electorate. Again, there's 23% still undecided. Ken Paxton has been the Attorney General, and I've stated this before, done a pretty good job as being a good Attorney General. He has been an America First Attorney General. I have no complaints over how he has performed, to be honest with you. But the issue is that the people of Texas and the primary voter, they're speaking. There's 23% of the people that are undecided on both of these two candidates. The electorate is clearly looking for somebody that can fill this void, and I believe I am that person.
As you try to get your name ID up, what's kind of just a 30-second to a minute-long elevator pitch? Why should voters want to vote for Wesley Hunt?
There is 60 years worth of military service just in my immediate family. My dad's a retired colonel. My sister's a West Point graduate. My brother's a West Point graduate. I'm a West Point graduate. At one point in 2006, my brother, sister, and I were all stationed in Baghdad at the same time. We have skin in this game, and we believe in serving this great nation. And in my early 40s, I believe it is now time to continue to give my best years to this country because the United States Senate is not a retirement community. I was the first person in the country to endorse President Trump. I have stood by his side the entire time, and what you will get with me is the next generation of America First leadership. Keep in mind, our vice president is 41 years old. Our Secretary of War is 44 years old. Our Secretary of State is in his early 50s. Now is the time to codify what President Trump has done for us for the past decade, for the future, and I am the man to do it for Texas.
Even before Hunt announced his campaign, his supporters were active on the fringes of the Republican primary race. An independent organization spent millions of dollars to place ads supporting Hunt on television and other media across Texas. The effort may have made a mark. The University of Houston and Texas Southern University released a poll days before Hunt's announcement. It shows the congressman trailing Paxton and Cornyn, but he had 22% support. Again, that's before he started campaigning. State leaders announced a new joint investigative committee to review the deadly July floods. Texas lawmakers will study the facts and circumstances that led to the deaths of more than 130 people. We've learned officials from Camp Mystic will be invited to testify in front of lawmakers at the state capitol. Rushing floodwaters swept away 27 girls from the camp. In response, state lawmakers passed laws over the summer that created new safety regulations for summer camps. Last month, State Senator Pete Flores said lawmakers must dig deeper into the camps.
This study will be able to do this deeper dive, to this comprehensive investigative look at the entire situation, its totality. Will be able to give us more information to address this issue more comprehensively as we move into the 90th session.
The spokesperson for Camp Mystic said the camp looks forward to working with the investigative committee and, quote, helping them and the public more fully understand the facts of what happened. In Texas, access to health care can depend on where you live, and people in rural areas face unique challenges. A new effort could bring $1 billion boost to improve care, but there's a tight deadline.